would you feel if you can finally overcome procrastinations and the feelings of overwhelm and start working towards a clutter-free home? If you feel stuck and almost paralyzed at the thought of decluttering, this video is for you. Let's jump into 3 simple steps to get you started. I'm going to show you a fun little decluttering game at the end, so stick with me. What's more manageable, picture A or picture B? Chances are you chose A, so why are you so focused on B? The key to getting started is thinking small. When we have a lot of clutter in our homes, it can feel like a huge undertaking, and that's the problem. We're taking in our entire home, trying to make sense of where and how to start. Who wouldn't be overwhelmed? If you are a decluttering beginner, doing it that way will freeze you dead in your tracks, and because your mind is essentially there to protect you from the unpleasant, what can be more unpleasant than committing to a never-ending project? Let me put it another way. Imagine for a second that you want to run a 10K marathon, which is a little over 6 miles. Now, you've never run a day in your life unless you count trying to chase the bus you're about to miss, or that time a bee chased you at the beach. I seriously doubt, having no running experience, you're going to go straight into a marathon. My guess is you would first buy a pair of running shoes. Start by running on a treadmill. Then running in your neighborhood, maybe a park with your dog. Over months, increasing your distance while also making some much needed lifestyle changes. You probably will need to quit smoking and stuff. You will take small steps every single day to eventually achieve your monumental goal. And decluttering is no different. So start small. If you're a decluttering beginner, choose a shelf, a drawer, maybe a handful of beauty products, or a pile of socks. Decluttering is a mental muscle that you have to build. It's a new habit, just like many of the new habits that you've built across your entire life. Learning to drive, cooking meals, doing a job, blow drying your hair, even brushing your teeth or walking. You've learned hundreds of new skills across your lifetime, and decluttering is just a new one among so many future ones you have yet to learn. When I started my decluttering journey, I didn't tackle my entire closet, and trust me, it needed a lot of work. I was a compulsive wardrobe shopper turned minimalist. Not in my home, just in my wardrobe. But none of this happened overnight. In fact, it took over a year for me to declutter my wardrobe. It happened with 1 t-shirt, a pair of jeans, a pair of pumps at a time. So right now, choose one small project, put on some good tunes, and get started. Small wins lead to big results. Step 2, set days, times, and alarms for when you're going to declutter. One of the biggest mistakes I see beginners make is overcommitting to the amount of time that they will declutter per week. I have clients starting to work with me and they're like,
Margo, I am going to be decluttering 8 to 10 hours per week.
And every single time I giggle. Don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely loving the enthusiasm, but it is unrealistic. I will say this, I've coached close to 100 clients, and one of them actually set a goal for 8 to 10 hours, committed to it, and did it. Kid you not, I have never in my career seen such an atomic, enthusiastic commitment to decluttering. But she's an anomaly. For the rest of us humans, especially if you're just starting out, how about instead we commit to 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 days a week, and see how it goes. Choose a few days of the week where you can prioritize decluttering. Set an alarm for 15 minutes and declutter that small area. If the alarm goes off and you are mad hyped to keep going, fantastic. Extra time is bonus. Our brains enjoy meeting goals. That's when motivation comes from. If you are someone who makes to-do lists at home or work, think of how good it feels when you cross things off the list. And decluttering works the same exact way. If you set a goal for an hour a day, but can only do 20 minutes 3 days, you will inevitably stop and feel like a failure. Think of New Year's resolutions where, it's December and we're like, come the new year, that's it, I got a gym membership, I'm gonna hit the gym 5 days a week. And then January rolls around and maybe the first week, the second week, maybe even the third week, you go 5 days. The fourth week, you're like, oh man, it's snowing, it's raining, it's gross. Maybe you go 3 days. The week after that, maybe 2. And eventually you're like, well, I didn't stick goals, so I'm just gonna stop going. You know what? Wait until next year. The opposite is actually true when we set realistic expectations. And one of the reasons that New Year's resolutions fail is because we overcommit. Decluttering is no different. Set realistic expectations. So we're starting with a small section. We're setting a timer for 15 minutes, maybe a few days a week, and then we see how it goes. And if after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I've had clients who started 2 days a week, and within 2 weeks were like, heck, I can do this 3 days a week. I can do this 4 days a week. Or maybe even just swapped, instead of doing 15 minutes, doing an hour. All of that will come. The most important thing, especially if you're a beginner, is to start small, both with what you're tackling and your time increment. If you're enjoying my video, don't forget to contribute to my coffee addiction by smashing that like button. Let's move on to decluttering tip for beginners number 3. And this third tip to get you started, especially if you're new to decluttering and you are just having a hard time even getting started, this tip is a must. And it's to set literal rewards for yourself. Our brains are wired to seek out rewards. It's like they're little pleasure-seeking missiles constantly on the lookout for anything that'll give us that warm, fuzzy feeling inside. And when we pair rewards with decluttering tasks, something magical happens. Think about it this way. You set a goal to tackle that overflowing closet of yours. It's overwhelming to say the least. But then you promise yourself a reward for completing the project. Maybe it's a bubble bath. Maybe it's ordering takeout from your favorite restaurant. Suddenly, your desire to procrastinate is not as prevalent. You've got something to look forward to, a light at the end of the clutter-filled tunnel. When I work with clients, I actually prefer to not only set a reward for tackling a complete project, so for example, a closet, we set small rewards for each drawer, each shelf. So it could be teeny tiny things like sitting down for 15 minutes and enjoying a frappe, or maybe simply finishing that TV show that you've been watching. The key here is finding rewards that resonate with you personally, whether it's a small indulgence or a large splurge. The most important thing is that it brings you joy and reinforces your hard work. And here's a little bonus tip. This is a fun little game I used to love to do, and it helped with my decision fatigue and procrastination and kept decluttering fun. Take a jar and on several pieces of paper, write down a small decluttering task. At the back of each task, write down a reward. Then shake it up, close your eyes, and simply pick one. Then set an alarm for 15 minutes and declutter away. If you want to achieve a clutter-free home this year, learn how hiring me as a decluttering coach can help you. Check out more information in the description. Next, if you're brand new to decluttering, you're gonna want to watch this video, which is the Decluttering Survival Guide. All you need to know to get started, keep going, and achieve that clutter-free home that you desire. Thank you so much for watching. As always, good luck on your decluttering journey, and remember to be good to yourself.